Quick component rundown of Pirates vs. Dinosaurs. A game where you control a pirate captain and his crew while he explores the island using map fragments, trying to find the dig site so he can dig for treasure and get off the island with the most treasure. In the meantime, he's got to deal with dinosaurs and natives, the other pirates, and eventually the volcano will explode and the island will sink. Hopefully, you're safely on your ship. Of course, you have the rule book. Full color, glossy, good looking, lots of examples, not too many problems with it at all. You got the game board, which basically is a map of the island that you'll be exploring. See all the different terrains, a few other spaces on the board as well. You got the lost and mutinied space where there'll be a handful of pawns there, crew pawns that you can pick up. Certain events will let you find crew wandering the island. You'll be able to add them to your crew. You have the anchorage. This is basically the spot that you put your location marker once you've decided that you've dug enough treasure and you're ready to leave the island. This is the dig site. Basically, once you've found your landmark tiles, you'll put your location marker there, and for the rest of the game until you decide to leave the island, you'll dig for treasure. Shows you there's a spot there for the curse tokens and also a reference for what happens when you draw the curse tokens. Here's the volcano track. Once one player starts digging for treasure, any volcano tiles that they draw will be placed on the track, starting with 1, ending on 6. Each of the locations has a bad thing that could happen. The final spot, the island sinks, game is over. All players not in the anchorage lose the game. So if you still digging for treasure when this tile pops up, then the game is over for you. You have the pirate mat. Each player will get one of these, basically used to organize your cards, your relic, first mate, your item cards, your map fragments. This will track how long it takes you to find a new landmark tile each time you start a new exploration. This will show you where your dino attacks go when other players play them on you, and other encounters. And the art is unique on them, but they're exactly the same. The captains themselves do not have special abilities. You have your map fragments and matching landmark tiles. Beginning of the game, every player will have a few of these map fragments. That'll tell you what landmarks you're looking for on the island. Once you find all the landmarks, you've found the dig site, you can start digging for treasure. Really nice tokens, thick. The art's very thematic. The other sides are question marks because, of course, this is kept secret from other players, and these are face down on the board until you discover what they are. You have your deck of island cards, which will make up your hand. Encounter cards that can be played on your opponent or yourself depending on the terrain that you're in. Pirate fate cards that basically you play the card, get a one-time effect. And most of the cards, not all of them, have this discard effect down here. Basically, you just discard the card directly and get its result. Extra dice or re-rolls, that sort of thing. You have your player pieces. This is your location marker showing you where on the island you're currently exploring. This is your time marker, which tracks how close you are at finding a new landmark. You have your weapons cards, which you'll choose one or the other at the beginning of the game. Swords and muskets, or pistols and pikes, and changes up how the combat works for you. And then you have your item cards, which you'll choose 3 of these at the beginning of the game, and they'll help you in different situations. Reroll dice, help you in combat, help you dig treasure, that sort of thing. You have the relic card, which at the beginning of the game, every player will select one of these. They'll stay with you through the entire game, giving you a special ability in certain circumstances. My favorite. You have your first mate cards. Every captain will have one first mate. Have that for the rest of the game. They'll give you a special ability, and when you use them, they go to their exhausted side. And under certain circumstances, they'll refresh. Each one is different. Some of them are pretty powerful, so It's a once per game. You never refresh them. They get exhausted and they're done. Again, the artwork is nice. Fits the theme of the game really well. Then you have the T-Rex pawn. This will get placed on the board with cards, and if you try to explore in the same territory of the T-Rex, it's harder to do, so you need to roll additional successes to look at landmark tiles. You have your crew pawns, which are pretty much just generic white meeples used to track how much crew you currently have. The more crew you have, the more treasure you can carry, the better you fight. You have the envoy token, like the rest of the components, nice thick, real good quality. These basically, you take one of these when you need crew. You get 6 crew when you take one, but at the end of the game you're forced to discard 1 treasure. Take as many of these as you want, getting 6 crew each time. However, you have to discard 1 treasure for each one that you have, and the treasure has to be unique. So you couldn't just discard all your 1000s. Each one would have to be different. You have your curse tiles. When you're digging for treasure, anytime that you discover a ghost, you have to take a curse tile, and bad things happen. The more curse tiles you have, the worse it becomes. And then you have the dice. Nice. They look good. 2 sides show the skull and crossbones. 2 sides show the crossed swords, and 2 sides are blank. Typically you're trying to roll the skull and crossbones. Those are successes, but depending on the situation, you might want to roll either or even blanks in rare circumstances. You have your treasure tokens in your treasure bag. When you're digging for treasure, you'll draw tokens out of the bag, and they'll either there'll be a treasure, show a monetary value, or there'll be a ghost token, which if you draw one of these, you have to take a curse token. The first curse token is bad, and each one you get after that becomes exponentially worse. You also have dinosaur attacks, so while you're digging, you have to fight a dinosaur. And then the last thing is the volcano tokens. These are the countdown. The first person goes to the dig site, start digging for treasures, you'll start placing any volcano tokens on the board, and when a certain number of them are placed, the island sinks, and anybody who hasn't left by then has lost the game. So there you have it. Component rundown for Pirates vs. Dinosaurs, a game designed by Richard Launius and published by Jolly Roger Games. So until next time, catch you later.